podcast where we cover the Baltimore Orioles 24/7. Now, before we dive into this episode, please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel if you are watching or listening on the YouTube channel, as well as your other podcast platforms where we are available. And let's get this episode rolling. Josh, hit him with the intro. All right, so back to the episode. So today we're just going to be covering some notes and rumors and news about the Orioles because there is some stuff to talk about now. So first, let's strictly talk about roster moves. I think probably the biggest one yesterday was signing free agent Franchy Cordero to a minor league contract. Now, if you take a look at the path of Franchy Cordero in his big league career, last year he had close to a 700 OPS. Not quite there, though. If you look at the slash line, 242 at-bats with the Boston Red Sox, 219 average, 8 homers, 29 RBIs, 4 stolen bags, and a 697 OPS. Cordero, people have liked his size and his build, but he has never really been much at the big league level. He started his career off with the Padres back in 2011 when he entered their system and was therefore traded to the Kansas City Royals for right-handed pitcher Ronaldo Bolanos and Tim Hill, left-handed pitcher. So he then got to the Kansas City Royals and obviously was in the three-way trade of Andrew Benintendi. Andrew Benintendi went to the Kansas City Royals. Being Frank Cordero, 2 players to be named later to the Boston Red Sox. And then obviously the Mets were involved getting Cahill Lee and Joey Lucchesi, as well as Josh Winkowski went to the Boston Red Sox. So that is when his Red Sox tenure endured, and then the Boston Red Sox got rid of him. He was non-tendered by the Boston Red Sox this year and hit the free agent market, and now he has joined the Baltimore Orioles. I think this is a pretty low-risk signing, if I'm being honest. I think that, Frank Cordero, the Orioles, I think, are just trying to get stocked on some options for backups of Ryan Mountcastle. I think it's also smart that they're bringing in some left-handed hitting options. Maybe if the Orioles feel like Ryan Mountcastle is, if the Orioles feel like Ryan Mountcastle is best in a platoon, or Ryan Mountcastle plays against the lefties, and maybe a guy like Franchi Cordero or Lewin Diaz, who was just claimed, who we'll talk about in a second, if they feel like one of those two can play against the righties, we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But again, very low risk. It's obviously a minor league contract, so there's not. I mean, Franchi Cordero, if he hits the big league level, he's not going to be making that much. So it's just very low risk. He is not taking a spot up on the 40-man roster. Josh, thoughts on this move, as well as before I forget to mention, we have Philip on, our best guest ever and one of our great supporters. So
what's up?
We're converting him into an Orioles fan now. So yeah, Philip, welcome to the podcast. But I'll turn to Josh first, and then Philip. What do you make of this Franchy Cordero signing, Josh?
I mean, in my opinion, it's a typical Orioles offseason signing. Not like a super high-profile player. He's
True.
established himself more than other players they've signed in the past. And I was reading something. They haven't signed a player during offseason free agency for multi-year contract since Alex Cobb in 2018.
That is true.
But they'll be paying Cordero $1.35 million in the majors and $450,000 in the minors.
If he makes it to the majors, he will make about $1 million.
That is. That is.
The Orioles would have to purchase his contract from the Norfolk Tides if, they felt like Cordero could join the big league club. So that is the Cordero signing. I don't know. He will have the advantage of right field. He doesn't have to deal with the Great Wall of Baltimore or Baltimore, whatever you want to call it. He's going to have, the nice feature of hitting getting yards as a left-hander, which is not as far back as for a right-handed hitter.
Yeah.
Although he did have that privilege when he played for the Red Sox. Obviously,
Yeah.
that very short wall in right field. I mean, there were some free home runs. I've seen free home runs at Fenway, so he also had that blessing. But I mean, maybe the Orioles feel like they can unlock something in Cordero. I mean, the Orioles have a pretty good development system. The Orioles have claimed and gotten some guys in here that they can maybe try and develop a little bit if they feel like they can. If they're capable of that. Obviously, we know we have a great development system here in Baltimore, so maybe Cordero falls under that and unlocks his true potential. So, Josh, any other notes on that?
Yeah, I got a quick note on that. So Cordero is 28. Still, I would say fairly young, I guess.
Probably about his prime.
Yeah. So he's played 6 seasons. Played for Padres, Royals, Red Sox. And out of his 227 big league games thus far in his career, Cordero has hit 21 home runs, but struck out 34.8% of his plate appearances.
Yeah, big swing and miss potential with him.
Yeah. I mean, you typically see like a lot, it's kind of stereotypical to see a lot of strikeouts with first basemen, guys like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't hit too many home runs though. I think this is You say this is You say this is like a low risk factor signing. I think this is not a low risk factor signing. I think this is a risk factor signing. I think they should have gone for someone a bit more out there and more established and more of a veteran who could back up Mountcastle and teach him the roots.
You know what? I don't think that this Cordero signing is going to really block the Orioles from trying to get a big league capable first baseman. I think that they could still flag someone down because Cordero can spend the entire year in the minors, hit free agency, and he's making absolutely no money whatsoever. That there is that in there. But maybe the Orioles feel like, he's the right guy. I don't know. We'll see this offseason. But something just occurred to me right now. We have Philip on here.
Yes.
At heart, a Nationals fan. So I think something very interesting to talk about with Philip, which we've never ever talked about, is one pitcher in particular, and that's Austin Voth.
Yes.
So let's just sidetrack for a second. I know that this is a very interesting topic to talk about with a Nationals fan on the podcast, on an Orioles podcast. So obviously, Philip, you saw Austin Voth for a period of time. He was not very good. ERA. His ERA was inflated. It was higher than the sky, pretty much. With the Washington Nationals, he's kind of a lengthy arm out of the bullpen. He can give you a few innings. If we look at the numbers with the Nationals, he did not receive a win or a loss. But the ERA was 10.13. He appeared in 19 games, none of which were starts. He did get a hold. He got 18 and 2/3 innings under his belt, 34 hits, 22 runs, 21 of which were earned, 4 home runs given up, striking out 18 batters, and opponents were hitting .386 off of Austin Voth when he was with the Nationals. So then he was DFA'd for the Nationals. If we go down and look here, May 31st, he was DFA'd. And then the Orioles claim him. They kind of take the flyer, I would say around this point. That was the Orioles' way of doing things. They would just find these waiver guys and give them a shot. And you kind of thought that Voth, he would get a shot, but then he would get DFA'd like 1 to 2 months later. Stereotypical of the Orioles in their rebuilding process. Josh and I saw way too much, and it was not that fun. It was not that fun.
It was not fun at all, man. It was not fun.
So yeah, he arrives in Baltimore, and he That's not the case. He performs really well as a Baltimore Oriole. He goes 5-4 with the Baltimore Orioles. 3.04 ERA, 22 games, 17 of which were starts. So a fairly legitimate shot for the time he was with the Orioles. 83 innings pitched, 77 hits, 30 runs, 28 of which were earned, 10 home runs given up, 72 strikeouts, so not as much of a strikeout pitcher. And opponents hit 244 against him. So obviously this is a massive, massive change for Austin Voth in his career. He's obviously able to pivot, and so much so that the Orioles tendered him a contract. He did not get non-tendered when the end of the year came around. He was one of 6 to get a contract from the Orioles or get tendered. So, Voth, how do you feel about this in general, seeing the Orioles take Austin Voth and making him a much more productive pitcher from when he was with the Nationals?
Honestly, again, Austin Voth, he was just not a good pitcher with the Nats. And like that was just again, like before this past season, he had kind of started, then he kind of moved into the long reliever role, played like garbage. But he looked better with the Orioles. I think his ERA, like again, you look at some of like the other stats, like they're not as great as the ERA would suggest, but again, 3.04 is really good. So I mean, I think it's a good idea for the Orioles move him into like a long reliever role. And yeah, I like the move for the Orioles, again, giving them a bullpen piece, and he can start on days where you don't really have a guy. So yeah, again, he did play a lot better, and I like the move for Baltimore.
Honestly, I could see him kind of taking Jordan Lyles' way. I don't think he'd be as amazing as eating innings,
No.
but maybe slightly more productive than Jordan Lyles. Maybe you
Yeah.
compromise on the innings, get 1 or 2 less innings, but it would probably be a bit of a better typical start of Jordan Lyles. So I don't know. Maybe that's why the Orioles declined Jordan Lyles as club option, because they have Austin Voth who can, do some similar type things, and that's very interesting thought process there. And just another thing, quick shout out, Brian Baker's birthday yesterday. He was great as an Oriole this year. Hopefully, going to be great in the future. So other things, just to note, some minor things, and then we're here for the rumors and reports and stuff like that. Lewin Diaz claimed off waivers, kind of similar to the Frank Cordero thing, except he takes up a spot on the 40-man roster. Jake Cave has been claimed off waivers by the Philadelphia Phillies, so goodbye, Jake Cave. For the month you were on our roster, you were not going to be anywhere close to the opening day roster whatsoever. And Daz Cameron is outrighted to AAA Norfolk. So I think Daz, I don't know how long Daz was on the 30-man or the 40-man roster, but it seems like he's going to pass through waivers. It's December 4th now. I think he might have cleared it, and he's going to get AAA Norfolk. He's not a free agent. He's not a free agent.
I know.
I think he's just not with the major league club. So
yeah,
I think that he's just going to be a AAA Norfolk for now. I don't know what his future is with the Orioles. Maybe you thought him and Jake Cave were kind of going to be competing for a 4th outfielder role, but did not be the case. Was not the case.
I mean, Jake Cave was pretty good with Minnesota at the end of the year last year. So I mean, I wouldn't have hated that if they would have kept Jake Cave as the 4th outfielder.
I mean, he did have some good time with the Twins. Obviously, he had a
better
good
than
year
Lewin Diaz and Daz Cameron, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Lewin Diaz.
No, Lewin Diaz had a 169 average.
Yeah, no, he was really bad with Miami to end the year because again they played the Nats a bunch, and I got to watch him just not do anything.
Yeah. Cave had 213. This man, I mean, not great, but still better.
I mean, at least it's above 200. But
Diaz had a negative WAR. Diaz had a negative WAR.
I mean, like, Lewin Diaz is still young, but he has not shown anything at big league level whatsoever. I don't know.
No,
maybe
he hasn't.
It's just I don't know. It's kind of a whatever move. Who really cares at the end of the day? But now get into the big stuff.
Hey, I want
Kyle
to
Gibson.
get back into Kyle Gibson quick. I want to discuss Kyle Gibson myself.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah, that I was
So-
just getting to that. So Kyle Gibson, reported by ESPN, and has not been confirmed by MLB, but according to ESPN, Kyle Gibson and the Orioles have agreed to a 1-year deal. It was reported by Jeff Passan, I believe, yesterday. Former All-Star Kyle Gibson, although he did not perform well with the Phillies, which is definitely a bit scary. It was not great. Probably why he hit the free agent market.
I mean, Citizen Banks Park is a home run park, though. So it was Cam Newton.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
I mean, there's Baltimore, but there's also the short right field. So
Yeah, but
if he faces a left-handed hitter, it's not that great.
Yeah.
But we've seen what the Orioles have done in pitching. Jordan Lyles came in as a above 5 ERA pitcher and then became an efficient pitcher. And Kyle Gibson has a good track record. Obviously, he was an All-Star with the Texas Rangers just, I believe, 2 years ago, if we're counting, 2023, 2021 was an All-Star with them. I don't know. Maybe there's something in Kyle Gibson, but he's also kind of on the older side. Hopefully, this doesn't block any other bigger names on the market that the Orioles could eventually pursue. I would hope not. But I don't know. We'll see. And it hasn't even been confirmed by MLB.com, which I trust the most. So we'll see where that goes with that. And now let's just get into some of these rumors and reports here. So thank you, Philip, for this piece of information. Noah Syndergaard met with the Orioles yesterday. So that is great. That is a great sign. Apparently it was over Zoom call. Very good step forward for the Orioles. And their, process gets him pitching. I think Noah Syndergaard will be a pretty good arm. Yeah, I think that's a great piece of news. I like that the Orioles are at least trying. And I think that'd be kind of the worst case scenario is that at least we know the Orioles try to get a big name pitcher. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that report, guys?
I really don't want Noah Syndergaard. I'm sorry.
Oh wow. Okay.
Don't want him.
Explain your reasoning, sir.
Yeah.
Your reasoning, sir.
You want me to explain my reasoning?
Yeah, please. Please do.
Probably should. Yeah. Saying you don't want Noah Syndergaard, you probably should explain your reasoning. I mean, he's an okay pitcher. He was. I mean, most people probably still remember him as in a Mets jersey. This is how I still remember him.
Philip remembers him both as a Met and a Philly.
Yeah, like he would. Again, he's not like he was with the Mets, obviously. But again, I don't really know why you wouldn't want him because again, I don't think you're gonna have to pay him a ton of money, and to be a solid arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I were the O's, I would have been like Syndergaard over Gibson, but maybe Gibson was like that veteran pitcher they wanted. So I don't really know where they're going with that.
Yeah. In my opinion, sorry.
Syndergaard, at this point in his career, he's just a productive arm to have in your rotation. No, he's not lighting it up like he was with the Mets, but he's certainly, a good arm to have, a good insurance arm. Maybe he didn't look fantastic last year, but he still had a fine year. It's not like it's horrible. So I think Syndergaard will be a good fit in Baltimore.
In my opinion, he hasn't been good since 2018.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
He hasn't been
mean.
He hasn't been. No. Look at his stats. Bro, look, 2021 with the Mets, he did 9 ERA. I mean, of course, one start.
Yeah,
okay.
he had one start.
One
like,
start.
That doesn't matter.
One start.
Yeah, he
He's gonna get from one start.
Two starts. But
Get from 2 starts.
Yeah, that's a really small. Like again, some of the best pitchers will have that kind of ERA.
Small portion size. Yeah. I know.
Very, very small.
2022, I would say he was decent.
Yes.
I agree with that.
That's been his first real year since.
I would say he was decent. 2019, I would say it was a bit shaky.
That was 3 years ago. I think again, you look at the 2022. I think you take all those other years around the injury kind of with a grain of salt because again, you said two starts. So it's again, again, he was decent in his first like real year coming back. So I feel like that kind of just tells you all you need to know. He's going to be a decent pitcher. You know what I mean?
Another note here. Orioles are among the 8 to 9 teams expressing interest in Carlos Rodon, which is unbelievable news. If you had told me that we would be in this position last year, I would have laughed at you. I would have legitimately said
it wasn't really a big deal
get
last
outta here.
year. It wasn't so much of a big deal.
But yeah,
I mean, not last year, the year before. Sorry.
I don't know the likelihood of getting Carlos Rodon in Baltimore, but the
not a
fact
lot.
that the Orioles are saying that they are interested and that they are pursuing Carlos Rodon is enough for me to get excited right now. So, and it'll be even better if Carlos Rodon signs, but at least the Orioles are Carlos Rodon. They do not care about these picks and sacrificing them.
I don't know what happened with Carlos Rodon between 2020 and 2021. Like, did he just jack up and get a lot of sticky stuff and do like whatever like Trevor Bauer was doing when he was like between the Indians and the Reds? Because like I don't like talking about Trevor Bauer. I don't like him at all. But
we'll just move away from that topic.
That type of change.
Yeah. Let's again. We don't want to talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
No. But that type of change between like an 8 ERA to 2 ERA, or like the year before a 5 ERA, before a 4, 3, like a high 3, to a 2 years from having a 2 ERA, the twos, is just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Carlos Rodon, definitely something changed. Obviously, he had that no-hitter in 2021 and was just simply one of the best pitchers in the game with the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
Totally understand why he opted out of his contract. I mean, the dude is going to get absolutely paid this offseason. So, I think there's
Chris Bassett.
Yes, Chris Bassett as well. The Orioles are expressing interest
Chris Bassett.
They're going all in on pitching, which I actually think is a great move for them.
Not yet, but I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers right now.
Yeah,
he's a good guy to get from them, a good veteran.
I heard a report that the Orioles have reached out to all the pitchers on the free agent market, which I think is fantastic.
All of them?
I don't think they reached out to all of them. I think that's a little bit of a lie because there are a lot of pitchers.
Most of them. That's what I heard.
Justin Verlander in the Orioles uniform would look amazing. I'm just saying right now.
That would look horrible.
It would look amazing.
He's already wearing orange as it is. Why not wear a better orange jersey?
I know. He's already.
Honestly, I think they always do a better jersey than the Astros.
Thank you.
I think they do.
Thank you.
They have the best orange jerseys in the league.
They're like.
Oh, that's facts.
How many orange jerseys are there? I feel like there aren't
Giants,
Astros, Giants.
No, not Marlins anymore.
Tigers used to have somewhat orange jerseys.
They don't have an orange jersey.
Yeah, not really. There's like 3 teams. Not that much competition. But
I know, but still.
Actually, those orange Giants jerseys are pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie.
They're pretty good, but not as good as the Orioles.
Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep
moving.
So yeah, the Orioles have reached out to most free agent pitchers, and they're casting the wide net. Obviously, Chris Bassett is on their radar. Great to see
one-time All-Star.
Yeah, it's great to see that the Orioles are not really taking in. They're not expressing concern for that pick that they would sacrifice if they would sign like a Carlos Rodon or a Chris Bassett. Or any guy, it's I think that is a great decision by the Orioles to just say we want this guy, we don't care what it takes, we will sacrifice this pick. And I think that shows that the Orioles are kind of moving away from the rebuild. We're not taking picks as much into account anymore because we are ready to compete now, which I think is unbelievable. And I'm so happy that the rebuild is finally over. Our darkest days are over. It is our time to compete, and it is our time to shine, and we will make the postseason 2023, and it'll be amazing.
I got someone to talk about here. I really like this guy. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Justin Verlander.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Big boy.
MVP, 3-time Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, Triple Crown, 9-time All-Star, 2 times World Series champion, ALCS MVP, 2-time ERA title. That guy, that's the guy I hope to get for the Orioles. That's going to cost a lot.
That is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's a dream.
It's not going to happen.
It's a dream. It's a dream.
It is a dream.
It's a good dream in my opinion.
It's a good dream, yes.
It's
I
a
mean,
good-
I
it's
would
a
love
good
the
dream.
Nationals to have him, but it's not gonna happen. And also, he's like
But, like,
30.
you're
He's like
rebuilding, so-
38, 39 at this point. So
That
like,
gonna
doesn't
be, like,
matter.
40.
Look at Nolan Ryan, dude. Look at Nolan Ryan.
I mean, Verlander has aged like a fine wine. I would just like to say, like, I feel like he's
aged like
gotten
fine
better
wine.
and better.
He's aged like
Yes.
fine wine. Yes. Yes.
He could be like 40 on opening day, I think.
Bro, he's like
Old.
he's
Yeah,
like
again,
the
Nolan
current-
Ryan pitched till he's like 46, right?
Yeah, he's like the current Nolan Ryan in my opinion.
I don't think he's gonna pitch till he's 46, but I think he still has a couple more years
I
left.
can't
in him.
decide if Scherzer or Verlander is the current Nolan Ryan. I think like
I
both
think
of
it's
them
Verlander.
combined.
I really Scherzer's not like.
I'm gonna say.
Scherzer's intense, bro. He's like a psychopath.
This contract that Justin Verlander's gonna get, whatever it is gonna be his last contract in the big leagues.
Oh yeah, no, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whether it's a 1 year, 2 year, 1 year minimum, 3 year maximum, I think
I think
this
it's
is
gonna
gonna
be
be
like
it for Justin Verlander.
I think it's gonna be like a 3 or 2 year deal.
I think like
Yeah.
the team will like be desperate and pay him like 3 years, like a ton of money per year, and then he's gonna kind of like fall off a cliff that last year. I think that's why it's not
Yeah.
gonna work.
I think it's gonna.
Honestly,
I think it's.
Maybe not fall off a cliff, but I think he will definitely regress. Like, he's not
Don't
gonna pitch to
disrespect my
the
guy
tune of
like
a
that.
1.8 again.
Don't disrespect my guy like
Yeah.
that.
He's not gonna pitch a 1.8 again at any point. Okay, so
Yeah.
I still think he's a great pitcher that deserves a lot of money, but again, people have to temper their expectations. He's not gonna win. I don't think he's gonna win another Cy Young.
Next season. I wouldn't say that.
believe
I
that,
wouldn't
yeah.
speak to that.
I don't know. There's just so many like other good pitchers. I feel like that, like
So I think like next season
Yeah.
he's probably gonna pitch like a 260, 2.6.
yeah, I'll say like a 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Season
definitely
after
under
that-
3. I'd say.
Season after that, I'd say maybe a 2.4 or 5 again. After that, maybe like a 3.
I don't know. Yeah, I think like his last season he's pitched like a 3.7, 3.8 probably.
No,
like yeah,
not
not bad.
Yeah.
No, I
But,
don't think.
like,
I think it's gonna be like a 3.4 or something.
Okay. Josh,
At
the
the
biggest
absolute
Justin
worst,
Verlander
he's gonna-
fan here.
I'm a Verlander fan.
That's the worst. His ERA is going to be a 4 in his last.
Yeah,
professional
I agree
season.
with that. Yeah. It won't
At
be
the
like a
absolute
5.4
worst.
or whatever. Like some pitchers are
I get
pitching.
that, No.
All right,
Alright,
let's move
get
on
back
to
the
Justin
topic a bit
Verlander
more.
talk.
Let's get back on
Let's
bit topic.
move
more.
on
Yeah,
from Justin Verlander. I'm sorry, Justin Verlander fanboy.
we're-
But last note here before we wrap up the pod. Orioles are
Shortstops.
also, trading the short. Yeah, sure. We gotta talk about the shortstops. So last
Yeah,
two
talk about the
notes.
shortstops.
Last two notes. Orioles are pitching. They are expressing trades or interest in trades of pitchers. Obviously, there's a big guy here, and I'm sure y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about as soon as I mention his name, Pablo Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
Could happen. It could happen.
Uh-huh.
There is a match there. Pablo Lopez would fit well in our rotation. And the Marlins need outfielders. We need hitting help in general. We have a plethora of outfielders right now. We could ship out, I don't know, like a Colton Cowser or something, or if they want
Kyle
a big
Stowers.
league ready, or if they wanted a big league outfielder, it would be very sad. It would be hard to swallow at first, but Cedric Mullins.
No.
I don't think that Mullins and Lopez are on the same level of trade value. I think you'd have to get another prospect back. I mean, I think if you do really want to like finesse him,
Mullins is still like a 20-30 guy.
I don't know. Maybe you could get like, I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe get like a Jordan Groshans and Pablo Lopez.
Honestly,
for
next
Mullins
year,
prospect.
Mullins might have like 40 steals, bro, because of new bases.
Yeah, but he's also just getting older, so like I don't think like
Austin Hayes is also
He's not that old,
either.
though.
That's what I was thinking. Austin Hayes as well, but I think it'd probably be Austin
I mean-
Hayes and like a lower tier prospect for Lopez. Maybe some like cash considerations or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say maybe
Not
like
bad.
That makes sense.
don't get
Makes
mad,
sense.
Makes
but maybe
sense.
like someone like or like a small bullpen piece like Spencer Watkins.
Yeah.
I can see it. I mean, we have a lot of starting pitcher, So.
I mean, like I think Miami would want younger players, all things considered.
but I
mean, like
think the concern.
They don't need more pitching. They need more hitting. So they're probably gonna try.
yeah,
to
it's
get more
basically
They
Jazz,
need
Chisholm,
hitters.
and friends. It's like there's nobody else besides him, basically.
Yeah.
They need hitters. They need outfielders whatsoever. I mean, yeah. I think guys like Kyle Stowers could be mentioned in a trade. Colton Cowser could be mentioned in trade. A lot of
Just don't give him-
possibilities.
Just don't give my boy Boyce. Don't get him Boyce.
I mean, even Santander if you want to get crazy, but
Actually, I think Santander could work. I think Santander from
Santander's gonna have more trade value than Cedric. Santander's gonna have a lot of trade value.
It
I
hurts,
don't
but
think so. I think Cedric.
I think he's one of the most underrated outfielders in the league.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I don't know.
yeah,
Cedric definitely took
I-
a step back, obviously, but he's still great.
he's still great. It hurts to say this, but Santander is a great fit for the Marlins.
And again,
And-
y'all should honestly trade him just because I think other teams
They-
know his value, and I think teams are definitely be
Yeah.
calling about him. So
And I don't
I
think he's
think-
gonna have another season like this, honestly.
yeah,
Here's
again,
my
this is
growth.
probably the best season he's gonna have.
He
But again,
might have another 30 home run season, like high 20s. But not like
no. I think he could definitely have another a couple 20 homer seasons and
Yeah.
again be a solid bat. But again,
yeah,
I
he
don't
had like 27 home run season like a year or so back.
yeah. So again, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah.
think he'll have
May-
another 30 homer season, but I don't know.
Maybe this is like a Jorge Lopez scenario where this is the peak of his trade value. You don't know if Santander is going to hit 33 home runs again, and have as good of a season as he did. Maybe you try and capitalize on that like they did with Jorge Lopez. Obviously, Jorge Lopez was completely and utterly dominant with the Orioles and regressed a bit with the Twins. So maybe it's like
Yeah.
that a little bit.
I
But the Orioles could get that done.
Yeah.
Another guy I would like to mention, Corbin Burns also as well. There's a trade possibility there.
I don't see that
Get that
happening
done
though.
as well.
I mean, I get
not-
that the Brewers need more hitting, but I don't see that happening.
They could
I
they
could-
could
I
move
could- I
forth with like a. They can move forth with like a Colton Cowser, some prospects, maybe a big leaguer. I don't know, but
You wanna know what
it
guy
could
kind
be
of want?
done.
You wanna know what guy I kind of want? Devin Williams.
Ooh, we need starters. Devin Williams is a closer. We already have a closer.
No, but he's a reliever who I'm pretty sure he used to be a starter, so he can work in that reliever starter role where he can switch around and he can if he needs to start, he can start some games, or he can become a relief and pitch more than 2 innings sometimes, 3 innings or so.
I don't know what baseball you've been watching, but
I mean,
Oh my
he's a
God.
closer. You already got Bautista.
he's a closer. Williams
I know,
is
no,
established as a closer. I don't think there's any world where
Y'all
he
aren't
can
listening.
transfer
Y'all aren't listening to
into
me.
a starter.
No, we are. We just think you're kind of dumb.
I'm listening to your theory, but it's not a very good theory. I'm gonna be honest.
I just maybe not Devin
Not
Williams.
very feasible.
I'm just intrigued by Devin Williams just because I think he's a very solid pitcher. But I think they need a guy who can act as a reliever who can pitch 3 or 4 innings in relief.
There are other guys that do that. Devin Williams is a closer.
I know. I'm
He
saying
is not
I
a
was.
length reliever.
I know. I was just saying that I was intrigued by Devin Williams just because I think he's a solid pitcher. I think he could fill in a role kind of like how Dylan. Yeah, I think he could fill in a role like how Dylan Tate's role is right now. And Dylan Tate, because I feel like Dylan Tate could pitch longer than he could be more of
Tate
a
is
3.
not a length reliever. He's 2 innings max.
No, I've seen Dylan Tate pitch 2-3 innings before. Dylan Tate can be a guy
I know he's done that
in the
though.
middle
He just
of
doesn't do
relief.
it that often.
I know. Devin Williams, I can see as the guy he's the setup guy. I can see Devin Williams a good setup guy for him. I get there, I have Dylan Tate,
Maybe.
but Dylan Tate can be a guy who they can trust to get them to the setup guy and then to Bautista if needed. But
that's just like the scenario that the Brewers when Devin Williams was the setup man behind Josh Hader. Now, obviously that washed because Josh Hader went to the Padres at the trade deadline. But Devin Williams is a closer. I think if teams want a closer, if they need a closer, they go get Devin Williams. I don't think Devin Williams is a guy that's you're gonna look at him and say, "Give me 2 innings right now." We need you for a little bit longer than we need you for a couple innings. I don't think Devin Williams is that guy. I think he's a pretty lockdown closer, and I think that's just a role that works for him. I don't think that he's really built for
Yeah.
a long reliever role. So it's just kind of breaking down the logistics with that. And then last note here, the
The
pitchers
big
would have
four.
been
Big
big
four.
four. That's right. We have the big four shortstops who the Orioles are checking in on. It's
Yeah, we got
slightly unrealistic that the Orioles
Carlos
get
Correa, Trey Turner, Xander
Xander
Bogaerts,
Bogaerts,
Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson.
All right. So
So
I did.
Philip obviously remembers two of these guys. One of which was with his team, the Washington Nationals, Trey Turner, and he remembers Dansby Swanson as an Atlanta Brave. So, Philip, you can have some input here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Philip can speak to some of these players.
Yeah. So I did hear that it seems like the front runners for Turner are the Phillies and the Padres.
Yep.
I think the Padres realistically will land him just because his relationship with Juan Soto. Again, they were always besties on the Nats, and they've already had two. They've already had two in-person meetings with San Diego.
How is that gonna work with when Tatis comes back? Is he gonna move somewhere else?
Outfield.
I don't know, but that's just what I've heard. I would assume that
maybe Turner goes to second again.
Maybe.
Honestly,
I think Tatis would probably go to second. I don't know.
Honestly, if I'm being honest,
Turner's better in my opinion. Turner's way better in my opinion.
Whoa. Okay. That's.
If I'm being honest, I think even if the Padres don't land a big four shortstop, I think Tatis still gets moved to the outfield because you have Ha-Seong Kim.
Ha-Seong Kim was really good.
It's a decent bat, but a really good glove at the shortstop position.
Yeah,
and you got Jake Cronenworth at second. Jake Cronenworth, another good defender out the middle. And Tatis, obviously,
first base, third base.
Amazing. He has that capability of playing right field. I think Tatis is going to become an outfielder for the Padres. That's my take, personally.
Actually,
So there are things that, but obviously Trey Turner would be a huge upgrade, and also he's a former Padre. He got traded away by AJ Preller.
Now,
so there's also something there as well.
Now, the Orioles, like mostly a lot of these players, like the big four, they're known as the big four. They're probably gonna go to like high spinning clubs like the Dodgers, Padres, Yankees, Phillies, Mets, guys like teams like that. But the Orioles have checked in on them. But John Heyman of the New York Post was saying that like it's more likely how they'll invest in starting pitching as they need that more because their shortstops. I mean, it's somewhat weaker than others. Isn't terribly strong, but they've got some noteworthy.
We have a great defensive shortstop.
Yeah, but they've got some like noteworthy guys who can have that role there. Like they got Jorge Mateo. Should have honestly so he's Gold Bible, right?
Should have won the Gold Glove, but he won the Fielding Bible award. But that's another conversation.
Then they got Gunnar Henderson who can play third base, shortstop, and then somehow he's labeled as a second baseman too. Not good at second base, but
nope.
I think he's gonna move to third.
Urias
though, I think he's gonna move the second. Urias is probably gonna move the second, or Mateo's gonna move the second. And then Gunner's gonna play it short.
I disagree with this. My Orioles infield is Gunnar Henderson at third, Jorge Mateo at short, Ramon Urias at second.
Yeah, that's also what I was thinking.
Yeah, that could make sense.
That would make sense. Yeah, or Urias at third, Mateo at second, Gunnar at shortstop because Urias won Gold Glove. He deserves to stay at his position, right? Does that make sense?
I trust Jorge Mateo's defense to that extent that I'm not willing to move from shortstop.
I get that. It's not worth arguing about, though. It's not worth arguing about.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. We can fight over another time. Meet me in the back alley.
We'll settle it outside. But yeah, a lot of I think the likelihood. Honestly, I think the best fit for the Orioles might be a little bit controversial here, but Xander Bogaerts. I'm gonna say Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, Yeah, I could actually see
Xander
that.
Bogaerts,
Solid player, very, very good. I mean, actually, I would
is
say.
the
Well, I don't know
best
why I said
fit
solid.
out
He's
of the
better than
core.
solid. He's better than solid.
I think
And like that
Xander
would be,
Bogaerts is the
yeah, he's the man.
best fit out of those four in the Baltimore Orioles. And, he's played for the Red Sox. He's had to deal with a troubling left field wall before, obviously with the Green Monster.
Yeah,
And he's elevated the ball
Yeah.
really well, and it still doesn't get out because the Green Monster is just so tall. But
yeah.
this, it's not
Sorry.
a matter of elevating it; it's a matter of hitting it harder.
Yeah.
So
My problem with him
that
though,
is, yeah.
he's working with Scott Boras.
Yeah, that's
He's hard to work
Yeah.
with. But
yes.
Xander Bogaerts, honestly, like he wears number 2. He's comfortable with number
Yep.
2. That's his number. Are they going to give him the
So
number?
that's also
for George
Gunner's
Orioles?
number.
Yeah, that's Gunner's
You have
number.
to change it. That is
Yeah.
Gunner. I will.
They're not
going
going to take Gunner's number. They're not going to take that number away from Gunner.
No, I
not-
refuse. I refuse.
They're
Gunner's
probably going to
numbers
give.
too. I don't care.
They're probably going to give Bogarts a number like maybe it's like I don't know what he won in college or high school, but maybe a different number, like maybe number 12, something like that.
He could wear number 7.
Yeah, maybe number 7. I could see Bogarts actually moving and playing a second base role sometimes.
Honestly,
I
think
could see-
Bogarts
I
is not
could-
really a shortstop.
I could see him do that.
So, if Xander Bogaerts came to the Orioles and wore number 7, we would have in our team's history, would have a great defensive shortstop wearing number 7, and we'd have a great offensive shortstop wearing number 7. If you should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Mark Belanger, an
Yeah.
amazing defensive shortstop back in his day.
Yeah.
But really could not hit to save his life. But
Yeah.
nothing against Mark Belanger. We love Mark Belanger. My dad is a player's Mark Belanger. But then you have Xander Bogaerts, who's just not very good at shortstop. But he can hit. So kind of be an interesting conundrum there, how that works. I think the second best fit, I'm gonna say Dansby. I think Dansby is the second best fit behind Bogaerts, and then Correa, which I know is a little bit controversial, and then Turner. I don't think Turner is a great fit in Baltimore. I don't really think he fits the team mold.
I mean, so I could see him play there, but I think he's. No, I would like him actually.
I would too, but I just don't
here's my order. Here's my personal order. I think Bogarts is probably the best fit. Then probably I would Dansby, Swanson. But I think honestly Bogarts out of all those guys is probably just the best fit in general. There's like a big difference in fit wise, just because like I feel like the Orioles and the Red Sox and the Rays have like a similar like kind of like feel. Like any of those players I could see playing for each team. I can't see like an Orioles player playing for the Blue Jays or the Yankees. So
no,
like at this point,
I can't either.
That's just weird seeing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would say that Turner's a better fit than Correa.
Especially because there's a budding rivalry with the Blue Jays. That is a developing rivalry now. I think that's going to be probably one of the better rivalries next year for 2023. It's the Battle of the Birds in the AL East.
Maybe Turner can return to the DMV areas.
Yeah.
Probably not, maybe.
Probably not.
And he actually played a bit of center field too. He played a bit of outfield too.
But then there's also Carlos Correa, who his relation to the Orioles is that he was a Michael Elias draft pick, back when he was drafted, and obviously Michael Elias was with the Astros. Carlos Correa drafted by the Astros, and look what happened to the Astros. They turned into a dynasty. So there is that factor. Carlos Correa could feel like, hey, I want to reunite with the man that brought me into baseball, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. Carlos Correa is a great fit. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I like the fit of Swanson and Bogaerts a little bit better than I do Correa.
Yeah, Swanson's a bit cheaper. His 2022 salary is
that's
$1 million.
Swanson and
Bogaerts is
probably a bit cheaper.
20. The predicted market value. Swanson's around $24 million, while Bogaerts is $29 million. Now we can also look at some other guys who can also maybe be a good fit. maybe Jose Iglesias could come back to us. I mean,
That'd
that's
be
that'd be kind of,
interesting,
yeah. I mean, there's also like a
to
guy
say the
like
least.
there's Garrett Hampson, Artemis Diaz.
I think another guy I would like to note. He's very versatile. He gets on base really well. And he fit the bill of a utility man. And he's a former Oriole as well as Jose Iglesias, and that'd be Jace Peterson.
Oh yeah.
I think that'd be a solid fit. He gets on base, like I said, pretty well. Knows the Orioles. He was an Oriole back in 2019. He was actually
Now
one of the better Orioles on those teams.
Do you think Orioles will try to get Mancini back though?
I think they might make a play. I could see it happen.
I could see it.
I'm not gonna say I don't see it happen.
I could see it. I could also see the Orioles maybe trying to get Carlos Santana. Well, no, Pittsburgh
He's
already
already
got him.
signed.
Pittsburgh already got him.
Pittsburgh
I forgot. Pittsburgh already got it. Yeah.
Another switch hitting first baseman.
Yeah.
Bell. Great fit.
Josh Bell. Yeah.
That is a great fit.
I could also.
I love that fit.
Another fit I really like. I mean, he's getting a bit older. Brandon Belt.
Yeah, not a bad fit. Not
a bad fit.
But it's not a bad
But
fit
I think
either.
Josh Bell would be a great fit.
I think Josh Bell is probably the best fit.
First baseman fit. I mean, besides Mr. Trey Mancini.
Trey.
I don't know. We miss you, Trey, man. We miss you, Trey.
Miss you, Trey. We need you to come back, man.
I miss you so much, man. I miss you so much, man.
Oh my gosh, literally that. I will be honest. The day he got traded, I watched the Trey Mancini montage and cried. I was sad.
Bro, same.
I was down bad.
Wait, could you see Nelson Cruz coming back?
Nelson Cruz coming back?
Isn't he? Didn't he resign with the? He resigned with the Nats.
No, he didn't. He's a free agent.
Yeah. What if Cruz comes back? We can rechange Cruz.
We could get all the former Orioles back. We can get Nelson Cruz. We can Trey Mancini.
Get Nick Markakis out of retirement and get Adam Jones back from overseas. I think it's like Adam Jones and him have like
that was the
bad history. Duo. They have bad history now though.
Jones and Nick Markakis back in their day was the power duo.
I'm pretty sure
that was amazing.
I'm pretty sure MLB made it official that Kyle Gibson was signed by the Orioles. I think they recently just made it official.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just made it official.
I didn't get the notification.
I got it yesterday.
Yeah,
ESPN. I got a notification from ESPN. Yeah, ESPN.
ESPN made it official. I got that yesterday.
You don't trust ESPN?
No, I do trust ESPN. I think they're very good. But I've gotten so accustomed and used to LB.
Yeah. So this is off topic about the Orioles because we're about to wrap this up. But I just wanted to add this because I feel like this is very important. It has to do with the AL East. The Tampa Bay Rays enter a bid to redevelop Tropicana Field site.
Interesting. Yeah.
They're gonna upgrade their stadium. They're finally gonna do it.
Finally,
probably the dumpiest and trashiest stadium in the MLB is gonna get a redo. So now it's gonna be Oakland Coliseum, and I would say honestly, National Stadium's in the middle. I'd say Orioles like top 3. To Kim Yard's top 3.
100%.
Top 3.
It's number 1, bro.
PNC Park's up there too.
Yeah.
So is Dodger Stadium's really nice. I'd say it's top 10 maybe.
Yeah.
But let's not talk about that. Maybe we can eventually do a video about like our opinions on the stadiums at some point. Some point. I mean, it is an Orioles podcast, but maybe we can do a fun little podcast about like our opinions or like predictions for next season. But we should probably wrap it up. It's an hour now. You know how I like these episodes to at least get an hour. But I feel like it's important.
It's at the recording's at like 50 minutes, so it's not quite the hour that you like.
Yeah, but I think that I think to wrap it off, we just gotta play our intro one more time just to make it an outro.
Absolutely. And then I'll just say like,
All right.
all right. So that
See you
is
next
the
time.
podcast episode. That is all the news and notes that we have today. Hopefully the Orioles will start to make some moves as the winter meetings are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that is tomorrow. So look forward to that as well. Hopefully the Orioles can maybe get some good pieces.
Mike
in the Rule
Elias
5
is
draft.
ready. Mike Elias is ready.
He is ready. Hopefully we can get a good piece or two in the Rule 5 draft. We've had some success in there as well. Obviously, Anthony Santander and Tyler Wells are pretty stable players on our team right now that came from the Rule 5 draft. So if we can get some more players, that'd be fantastic.
That's pretty
much gonna wrap up the episode.
This is Bird's Eye View Podcast. Josh Solomon and
Pat Moran
signing off.
Obviously do all those great things, like, comment, subscribe. If you are subscribed and you watch this, drop some hot takes or questions for us to mention on the podcast. We would love to do like mailbags and reacting to hot takes and whatever. We'd love to do those and interact with the fans if fans drop those in the comment section on the YouTube page. But if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, follow us there as well. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And as well, go over on your app as well and follow Beyond the Ballpark. Josh and Philip have been on there a couple of times.
Really fun. Great podcast.
I love that. I mean, I started that during COVID and it is still alive. And it's near and dear to my heart, that podcast. So really appreciate it if you followed that podcast as well. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.